Hello, I am Shivaji Bhaskar, Faculty of Russian at the School of Foreign Languages, IGNOU. I welcome you all to this course, Basics of Russian Communication Skills. As you remember that in our course, we have been discussing about various aspects of the Russian grammar, and accordingly, to understand them clearly, we have introduced you to the Russian case system. As the Russian case system is very diverse, we have 6 cases in Russian, so that is why as per the requirement of each case, we have been giving you different text. Now, in this module, we shall be taking a text. The title of the text would be Nasha Kvarchira. Largely, our text would be based on the prepositional case or Предложный падеж, as we call it in Russian. We will read the text in Russian so that you can understand the tone and texture of the text and the language, and then we shall understand it with the help of English translation. Afterwards, as we have been doing as a methodological tool, we shall analyze it and understand the nuances of the grammar, construction of the sentences, nouns, adjectives, pronouns and verbs in their conjugated form. I hope you are ready for the text. Let's begin. The title of the text is Nasha Kvarchira. Вот наша квартира. Она находится в центре города, на Тверской улице. Наш дом многоэтажный, и квартира на 6-м этаже. Вот гостиная. Гостиная удобнее кресла, диван и маленькие столики. На этом столике некоторые русские сувениры, разноцветные матрешки и шкатулки. На том столике красивый самовар, на стене картины и часы. Это столовая, в середине обеденный стол. В углу стоит сервант, и в нем тарелки, ложки, вилки и чашки. Рядом кухня. Это наши сильные. Это наши спальни. А вот вання. Это наш балкон. Он очень широкий. Вечером мы все разговариваем на балконе. So here we have read the text in Russian, and you have understood the tone and texture, the pronunciation of various nouns, adjectives. You have seen the intonation in sentences and the verbs in their conjugated forms. Now we shall take up the text and try to understand it with the help of English translation. Let's go back to the beginning of the text again. So the title of the text is Nasha Kvarchira, which means our apartment, or in generally like we call flat. So you can say our flat or our apartment. Вот наша квартира. Here it's our apartment or flat. Она находится в центре города. It is situated in the center of the city. На Тверской улице. On the Tver Street. Наш дом многоэтажный. Our building is multi-story. И квартира на 6-м этаже. And the flat is located on the 6th floor. Вот гостиная, and that's our living room. На этом в гостиной удобнее кресла, диван и маленькие столики. In the living room, there are comfortable armchairs, sofa and small tables. На этом столике некоторые русские сувениры. On this table, there are some Russian souvenirs. Разноцветные матрешки, colorful matryoshka dolls, и шкатулки, and Russian traditional boxes. На том столике красивый самовар, and on that table beautiful самовар. На стене картины и часы. On the walls paintings and clock. Это столовая. This is the dining. В середине обеденный стол. In the center, there is a dining table. В углу стоит сервант. In the corner, there is a big cupboard. В нем тарелки, ложки, вилки, чашки. In that, there are plates, spoons, forks and cups. Рядом кухня. Nearby is kitchen. Это наши спальни, and these are our bedrooms. А вот вання, and that's the bathroom. Это наш балкон. This is our balcony. Он очень широкий. The balcony is very wide. Вечером мы все разговариваем на балконе. In the evening, we all talk on the balcony. So here we have understood the text with the help of English translation. Now we shall attempt to understand the questions based on the text. So the first question is, где находится квартира? Where does the flat is situated? The second question is, расскажите о гостиной. Please narrate about the living room. The third question is, расскажите о столовой в квартире. Narrate about the dining in the flat. The fourth question is, где все отдыхают вечером? Where does everybody takes rest in the evening? So here, with the help of these 4 questions, we can go through the text and answer them accordingly. Now, before we do the analysis of the text, let's learn a few new words, verbs and expressions which we have learned in this text. So, the nouns which we have used in the text are vanya. Vanya means washroom or bathroom. Vilka. Vilka means fork. Гостиная. Гостиная means living room or drawing room. Matryoshka. Matryoshka means traditional Russian nesting doll. Отдых. Отдых means rest. Все. Все means all. And некоторые. Некоторые means few. These are the 2 examples of the pronouns. Now let's pay attention to the adjectives. Городской. Городской means public. Государственный. Государственный means state or governments. Многоэтажный. Многоэтажный means multi-story. Национальный. Национальный means national. Обеденный. Обеденный means dining, lunch. Atlichny. Atlichny means excellent. Raznosvetny. Raznosvetny means multicolored. So these are some of the examples of adjectives, pronouns and nouns which we have used in the text. Now let's go to the beginning of the text again and do the analysis. Nasha kvartira, our flat. Вот наша квартира. So whenever we are understanding the noun, we are using as per the gender of it. So kvartira ends with a, means it is a noun of the feminine gender. That is why Nasha kvartira, our flat. Ana nakhojitsa v centre gorada. So here we are using Ana for kvartira. Ana nakhojitsa, где находится. So prepositional case, that is why we are using the predlog or preposition v. V centre. Centre. Center changes into centre. Gorada. Centre in the center of what? Gorad. City changes into Gorada. Centre Gorada. So it is a good example of prepositional, as well as we have used the construction of genitive. Gorad changes into Gorada. Center of the city. So for calling of the city, we are changing Gorad into Gorada. Na Tverskai ulitse. Again we have used the preposition na, which means on. Tverskai ulitse. So we have changed the ending of the noun. Ulitsa changes into ulitse, and Tverskaya ulitsa changes into Tverskai ulitse. Nash dom naga etajni. So in Russia there are certain apartments which are located in big buildings. So here dom has been used to indicate that building. However, in Russian we also have the word for building zdanie. Zdanie means building, but in this context we have used dom, which means a big building complex where there are several apartments or flats. So nash dom mnogoetажный, multi-story. Mnogo from much, mnogo, etаж means floor. So we have made an adjective out of combining these two words together. Многоэтажный дом. So multi-story house. И квартира на шестом этаже. Наш дом многоэтажный, и квартира на шестом этаже. So the flat is on the 6th floor. As we know, шесть means 6. When we are changing the ending as per the requirement of the preposition, шестом этаже for masculine singular noun. Вот гостиная, and that's the living room. В гостиной удобнее кресла. Гостиная changes into гостиной after the usage of the preposition в. В гостиной удобнее, because plural. Удобнее, comfortable. There are several items, because that is why удобнее has been used. Кресла, as we know that the singular kresla ends with o, that is why whenever we are using kresla in plural, it is kresla ends with a, that is why udobniye kresla. Comfortable armchairs. Divan. Divan means sofa. I malinkie stoliki, and small tables. Whenever we use stol, it means big table, and stolik means small table. На этом столике некоторые русские сувениры. На этом столике. So one single small table means stolik. On one single small table, на этом столике. Некоторые, a few. Русские сувениры, Russian souvenirs. For souvenir, we have the word souvenir in Russian. Разноцветные матрешки, multicolored матрешки. Matryoshka is a very famous Russian nesting doll. If you go to Russia, you would see them almost everywhere, being sold in the small markets to big shops, and these are traditional handcrafted wood pattern with multicolor nesting dolls made out of wood. So, these are very important since you are learning not only the language but its culture as well. So, Matryoshka, where you will find many different kinds of dolls one another. Shkatulki. Shkatulka is again a box made of wood, handcrafted, with lots of small big paintings on it, miniature paintings on it. So, these are the two items which are very popular in Russia, Matryoshka and Shkatulka. So, Matryoshki is Shkatulki, traditional Russian Matryoshka dolls and wood boxes. На том столике красивый самовар, and on that table красивый самовар, beautiful samovar. Samovar is a traditional Russian kind of a kettle which we use to boil water, make tea and several other hot items to drink. Samovar in itself is a very beautiful concept. It's a combination of two different words, sam, which means by itself, varij, which boils by itself. So, that is why samavarij, samovar. Na stine karchini и часы. On the walls, karchini и часы, paintings and the wall clock. So, on the wall, na stinye, from the word stina changes into stinye after the usage of na. Karchini, paintings, и часы, and the wall clock, and часы is always plural, that you must remember. Это столовая, this is the dining area, or simply the dining. Средине обеденный стол. In the center, the dining table. В углу стоит, сервант. В углу. This is an expression which we use to indicate in the corner. В углу. Стоит, stands. Servant. Servant is a big shelf where we keep plates, spoons, fork and cups. So, that is why here in the text as well we have used в углу стоит сервант, в нем тарелки, ложки, вилки и чашки. И в нем, because servant masculine singular noun, that is why в нем. В нем тарелки, plates, ложки, spoons, вилки, forks и чашки and cups. Рядом кухня. Nearby is the kitchen. Кухня. Это наши спальни. Это наши спальни means this is our bedrooms. If we use singular, then naša spalnaya, from the root word spać, means to sleep. И вот ванная, and that's the restroom or bathroom. Ванная. Это наш балкон. This is our balcony. So, balcony is known as balkon in Russian. Он очень широкий. That's very wide. Вечером мы все разговариваем на балконе. In the evening, we all talk on the balcony. So, here with the help of these different words, construction of sentences, you have understood the text really well, and several other cases which we have found in the various modules which we have covered so far. Now, in this particular module, we have came across many concepts of the предложный падеж or the prepositional case. So we would like to recommend you all to go through all these important constructions and try to use many other nouns which you have learned, as well as the verbs and the adjectives, so that you can also make your own small text about the place where you live. You can also indicate many other items which you have in your own flat or in your house, so that you can easily narrate about your place. Now let's pay attention to the questions. Gdzie naходится квартира? Where the flat is located. Gdzie means where. So the question itself talks about that the case which we have used here belongs to the preposition. Prepositional case, где находится квартира. If we remember in the beginning of the text, квартира находится в многоэтажном доме, в шестом этаже. Where does the flat is located? It's located in a multi-story house on the 6th floor. So, многоэтажном доме на шестом этаже. This could be the right answer. The second one is расскажите о гостиной. So, narrate about the living room. So, if you remember, in the living room there are many places, comfortable armchairs, small tables. So, you can talk about this in this question. В гостиной есть много удобнее кресла, yes, comfortable armchairs, некоторые столики, a few small tables, and then you can talk about various other things which you have found in the living area, like matryoshka dolls. You can also talk about souvenir like samovar, etc., which you have found in the text. Now let's go to the third question. Расскажите о столовой в квартире. So here столовая means dining. Расскажите о столовой в квартире. So what do we found? That there is a обеденный стол and many other things which are nearby like кухня, etc. And then the fourth and the last question is где все отдыхают вечером. So here in this text itself they have talked about balcon, which means balcony, где вечером они разговаривают, отдыхают, etc. So like this, in a very easy and simple manner, you can answer the question. However, we always recommend you to use creativity while answering the questions. You can use some of the words which are also being taught to you in the various other modules. However, we would always want you to remember the concepts of the grammar really well. Now let's go to the nouns, pronouns and adjectives which we have learned in this text. So the first one is vannaya. Vannaya. Vannaya means washroom. So it is a noun. Then vilka. Vilka means fork. It is again a noun. Gaschinaya. Gaschinaya means drawing room or living room. Again it's a noun. Then matryoshka. Matryoshka, very important concept. Matryoshka, Russian nesting doll, traditional Russian nesting doll you can talk about. It's again a noun. Отдых. Отдых means rest. Отдыхать means to take rest. So this you can also remember. Then two pronouns we have done. Все means all. And in Russian we have the concept все means everyone and все means everything. So whenever we use this concept, for example, do you understand everything? Вам все понятно? Yes, we all understood. Да, мы все поняли. So все понятно, мы все поняли. We all understood. So like this you can also use the concept все and все. Then некоторые. Некоторые, a few, a few. Now let's pay attention to the adjectives. Garatskoy. And as per the gender of the noun, Garatskoy, Garatskaya, Garatskoy, Garatskiye. Garatskoy, Garatskaya, Garatskoy and Garatskiye. For example, Garatskoy transport, so public transport. Garatskaya rabota, public work. Garatskoye zdanie, public building. And Garatskiye service, public services. Like this, Gasudarstvenny means state government. For different genders, Gasudarstvenny, Gasudarstvenaya, Gasudarstvenaya and Gasudarstvenniye. Then Mnogoetajny means multi-story. So like this you can also use Mnogoetajny dom, multi-story house, Mnogoetajne zdanie, multi-story building, Mnogoetajnaya, Mnogoetajniye. Then Nacionalny means national. So Nacionalne, Nacionalniye, Nacionalnaya and Nacionalny. So national, you can use any other noun to indicate like this. Nacionalny Parliament, national parliament. Nacionalnaya, Nacionalne and Nacionalny. Then Abhijinny means dining or lunch. Abhijinnaya, Abhijinnay, Abhijinniye. And like this, Atlichny, Atlichnaya, Atlichnay and Atlichniye for excellent. Likewise, Razna Svetny, Razna Svetnaya, Razna Svetnay and Razna Svetny. So like this, if you can make out with the help of different nouns depending upon their gender, you can use these adjectives as well. So it is important for you all to use all these important concepts and make your small text and discuss it with your family and friends so that you understand the nuances and the basics of Russian really well. I hope you all enjoyed this text very much. We shall be talking about many more such things in our upcoming modules. Thank you.